Hello everyone and welcome to New York City.
Cause you want dollar bills right now, but you gotta work real hard. I know you want it to be easy, so let your guard down.
Hey everyone, my name is Natalie from This and Nat, or all of This and Nat over on Instagram. It has been a little while since I've made a video. I've been taking a break because we have been moving halfway across the country from Texas to New York City. But we're here now and I have all this footage from when we were here last time looking for apartments. So this video really has like everything from our 2-week trip in New York City that we took back in February. It's now April 2nd and we have just moved into our brand new apartment. So in the video, I'm gonna take you through like so many things, how we stayed in a hotel for 2 weeks, what that looked like, some tips for you there, and then all of the apartments, pretty much every single one that we toured, I got a little bit of a video from, so you can see all of that, finally ending with our apartment that we chose and a tour of that empty. And later on in another video, I'm gonna give you a tour of it furnished, and I'm so excited to show it to you. So let's go ahead and just get started and dive right in. Having lived in a hotel for 5 weeks out of the last several months, I have some tips for making a place feel like home. So number one is to unpack. I think there's a made-up rule that if you're staying somewhere for more than 48 hours, you should unpack your suitcase, but I totally agree. It makes things so much easier. I try to get my toiletries and clothes all set up as soon as we get to the hotel. And since we bring our work with us, I like to get that set up quickly too. I also always bring some comfort from home, my slippers and my robe, and usually some toilet paper too. You know that hotel toilet paper is not up to par. So let's take a look around this apartment style hotel in New York City. What I really liked about this room is that it had an office space. This was great for me since I was filming videos and doing Instagram lives and Zooms and still had space to go for that. There was also a closet in here where we unpacked all of our clothes. And then through the hallway here, we actually had a washer and dryer, which was so necessary for a long stay. This hotel had a ton of closet space, and we ended up keeping most of our toiletries out here since the bathroom didn't have very much storage space. This bathroom had a rain shower head and was super modern. And it also had a medicine cabinet. Medicine cabinets are super common in New York and they're perfect for small toiletries. Now let's head into the main living area, which is a combination kitchen, living, and bedroom. It's kind of strange to have the bed in the middle of everything, but for an extended stay, it was just fine. We were also careful to choose a hotel that had windows that opened because we knew if we were staying indoors for 3 days, which was our quarantine time, without any fresh air, it would feel like torture. And we also learned super quickly that being right next to a building does not allow for natural light to come in, and that became a super important factor in our apartment search. Okay, now on to the apartment tours. We toured roughly 15 buildings in New York City, all in Manhattan. We could only fit in 3 or so tours in a day because touring apartments in New York City is pretty unique and even more of a process due to COVID. Many of the places we saw required appointments with brokers as they were individually owned. But some of the places were apartment only, meaning everyone was a renter in the building. So we were able to see multiple units all at once. Some of the factors that were most important to us were a safe neighborhood, an easy place to take Toaster, our dog, out, natural light, and a layout that allowed for each of us to have an office space. My personal dream was to have a corner unit with floor-to-ceiling windows. At the time we were looking for a place in February of 2021, the prices in New York City were at an all-time low. Everywhere we went was offering several months free on top of a greatly reduced rent rate. It is still pretty shocking to pay more than we did for our 2,200 square foot house for a tiny space in the city, but the adventure that we will get to have in this next year is worth every penny. Kent and I had a big debate between classic New York charm and high-rise living. The more traditional apartments were in the most adorable neighborhoods, but they tended to be more expensive, older, and much darker. The high-rise apartments were in more touristy neighborhoods, but were actually more affordable, newer, and because of their height, could let in so much more natural light. Stick around until the end, and I will reveal what we chose. We felt very fortunate during our search that there were so many places we genuinely liked. And because of the circumstances, we could actually take our time choosing, since apartments were sitting on the market for weeks at a time. There are some unique things we learned about New York City apartments while we were touring. Most New York City apartments don't have garbage disposals. This is due to building codes that require copper pipes, and copper and acid do not mix. So to avoid people throwing in lemons, etc. down the disposal, you just don't get a disposal. Now this next thing I've shared with many people, so I don't know if it's as unique to New York as I thought it was, but it is very new to us. There is no overhead lighting in the bedroom or living room, even in new buildings. I found that super strange. We still don't have enough lamps right now, so once the sun sets, we have to navigate around our place in dim light. Now this apartment was actually our second place for us. I loved how it had an open kitchen and a huge living area. It also had tons of closets. The bedroom even had a walk-in closet. This building was really high up there for us too. The outside of the building is all zigzagged. It's a true piece of art. Even though the living and kitchen areas were really spacious, because of its location and smaller bedrooms, it just wasn't right for us. Okay, just one more hotel room to show you coming up. This one is a tiny one, and then it's time to show you the apartment that we picked. So this hotel room is way different than the other one we were staying in, but I'm going to show you in a second. It has a great view, lots of natural light, but even for a standard hotel room, it is pretty tiny, but it is really cool. So let me show you around and show you how we're doing things a little bit differently here to make it feel still spacious, because we are staying here for almost a week and we don't want our suitcases out on the floor open and all of that. It just makes us feel more settled to be unpacked. So I will show you how we did it. So here's the view out the window. There's just one pretty big window. This does open, which is nice because for winter time, you open the window, you get some fresh air. And you can barely see it, but in between the buildings right there and right there, those trees are actually Central Park. So that's really cool. It's cool to be in a different neighborhood. So let's swing around here real quick, and then I'll actually come into the room from over there first to show you everything. So when you walk in, it's just a regular hotel room. You've got a bathroom, we'll come back to it. It is super cool. And then this is the room. It is so small, but it has really cool like features and everything. So I kind of want to take you through all of that. So we've got a king bed, which is really nice. And then a little bench over there, a desk, a pretty big TV, and then each has a bedside table. These actually open up. I'll show you what's in them, little lamps. And so it's done really, really well. And then what we appreciate most, of course, is all that natural light. Okay, so right here, and this is gonna be my side of the bed right here. We've had to get creative because as you can see, this is not truly a drawer, it is a safe. However, I lifted it up and I've kept some of my knitting, and I'll put some of my other things I like to keep on my bedside table. My glasses are actually down here. My chapstick and stuff that I like to keep, and then all my masks are in there. Again, we had to get a little creative with less space. And then this right here, is like a little tiny closet. I don't have a lot of shirts to hang up. I mostly brought sweaters, and I also forgot my shirts, but I've got my coat in here. Kent has all of his stuff. And then we were able to put a little bit up here, but this is like a really cool textured wallpaper, kind of like the inside of an old suitcase. So I think it's super, super cool. The bed is neat because it's got like that leather stuff, and then it has these cute little lamps. They're so cool. How do you do this? Hold on. There we go. So a nice little reading light, which will be great at night because they're on each side. Oh, and then this right here is a plug, 2 plugs. You can barely see it. I know it's so dark down there, but those are 2 little plugs. So that makes up this bedside. There's no storage under the bed, which would have been really nice, but I know they were probably trying to keep the bed nice and low. I'm not gonna open this up. I can't put a lot of his clothes here in this bedside table because it's just a regular one. And then this is actually pretty cool. We opened this up and we didn't know quite what it was. This is actually a little mini refrigerator. So we've got some water and some beers that we had over at the other place in there. This is an espresso machine. I just got extra waters. And then I have my collagen. I always bring that with me. Oh, and now I'm always going to travel with some dish soap. You never know. Because actually they provided us with no coffee mugs, so I have mine, which is good. I don't know what else I would have done there. And then Kent has the same thing on his side, the little plugs right there. And then this is kind of where they could have put some storage in, not gonna lie. But we do have Kent's suitcase over here. So what we did this time is we didn't unpack all of our clothes. We just did some and left some clothes inside the suitcase. So if I hadn't worn something very much, I just left it in my suitcase and I can get to it rather than having my suitcase open and everywhere. All right, here's a cute little bench. You can see out to the city. It's actually really cute. It's like a lounge chair, I guess. I put most of my clothes in here. Kent put a few of his. We kind of shared this drawer a little bit since I didn't hang my clothes. So that works out pretty well for us. And then we've got the desk. We had to put some food up there, and we're gonna have to share this desk now because we had 2 desks in the other room. So all of our computer stuff is in our backpacks. And then, like I said, we've got our suitcases are still like half full. We'll just, once we're done wearing some clothes, we will put them in the dirty laundry and then switch it out, put some clean clothes into the drawers. So that's just kind of helping us, maintain things. And we only left out our shoes that we've been wearing a lot. I've got my slippers and my boots, and Kent just has his boots. Okay, this bathroom, it's a little darker than the camera likes, but isn't it super cool? One of the coolest things is this mirror. I don't even know. I guess this is like a smaller mirror. Isn't this crazy? I love that. It's super, super cool. I love the whole style of this hotel. So we don't keep things on the counter, especially at home, but like we try not to do it at hotels either. So all of our stuff is down here, down below. I've got mine in my little travel things, and I'll just pick them up, set them on the counter, get ready, and then put them down below. I just find that helps keep things so much cleaner. And actually you can use the counter space to get ready rather than store stuff. That's, counters are for using, not for storing. And so that's what we'll do here as well. And then I went ahead and got out some of my shower stuff. We just like to unpack as much as possible. And we decided to keep our laundry here in the bathroom. I don't know, we just got here. But I always bring a laundry bag. And now that we're doing masks, I bring a separate bag for the masks because that's how I wash them. Now this is it, the moment that you have been waiting for, our empty apartment tour. I actually recorded this with my husband Kent before we had even decided on the apartment. We were about to leave we had scheduled a trip to come here for 10 days, and we were about to leave the next day, and I was like, let's revisit this place. I feel like this is it. And we were allowed to go alone. So we recorded an apartment tour before we even chose a place. We ended up extending our trip and looking at many more places, and this place stayed in our mind, and it's the one that we chose. So here, take a look at our brand new apartment in New York City. All right, starting in the entryway here, we have this massive closet. It actually has 3 doors with shelves on the top and like a railing to hang stuff. So it goes 1, 2, and 3 doors all the way across. So there's tons of space here and here. This is probably where we're gonna keep like all of our extra stuff, like Christmas decorations. We'll have a little bit of pantry space. We'll keep our coats and shoes and everything because there won't be all that space in the bedroom closet, but it's really nice to have this much space in here. Okay, let's go into the living room and kitchen. This is a huge room, especially for New York. I guess let's go around to the kitchen here first. So the kitchen is pretty cool. It's just a nice little L shape. It's got all of these cabinets. We have a dishwasher, an oven, a microwave, fridge, freezer, everything that you need that you sometimes don't get in New York City. Plenty of cabinet space. Can't wait to actually organize this. It's going to be really fun. And then flipping around into the living room area. This is a really big space too. This is going to be our living room, but then also kind of like Kent's office. He's going to keep a desk in here. My favorite part about this room, of course, is behind me here, all of this view. This is a corner here, which is super cool. We get to see all of the city, which is super nice. And you can see like directly down one street, which is super, super cool. All right, let's go into the bedroom now. Actually, I guess we'll start right here because we do have a washer and dryer in the unit. I don't know if you can see it right there. Just a tiny little washer and dryer. I think that this building also has larger machines downstairs if you need them. And then here's our bathroom, which is decently spacious. It's kind of got like a low sink, but it's funky and kind of cool. And then we've got 2 medicine cabinets, one actually behind the mirror, and then one behind the door right here. Okay, so now we're finally going into the bedroom, which is a pretty good size. Another thing is that we have another corner with floor to ceiling windows, which is super, super cool. So come in and take a look at that. So this space is going to be our bedroom, of course, but it's also going to be where I keep my desk and I work during the day. So we're thinking about how we want to get that all set up. And then we have a nice big closet here with double doors. I like that there's not really much storage going on because then that means we can organize it ourselves. Because we're probably not going to put a dresser or anything in there, in here in this room, just to make sure we have tons of space. And so we can put it in right there. It's crazy bright outside right now, but now I can finally show you my apartment, and coming soon on Instagram, I'll be able to show you everything as well. Make sure you're following me there to get the most updated updates with everything. We're still unpacking, it's craziness, but coming soon, maybe in a month or so, I'm gonna have an updated apartment tour with everything furnished so you can see what it is looking like now. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and more New York City organization coming to you very, very soon. Bye.